So Big Will also asks your thought process on point. What would you consider to be the original story of man? Doesn't have to be religious. That one's a little bit difficult because mainly we keep digging up stuff. Archaeologists keep digging up and finding new civilizations over and over and over and over again. Currently, what seems to be the most synchronistic idea is that the gods, aliens, came from the heavens down to earth. And whether you're looking at the Aztec story, the Hopi Indian story, the Hindu story, the Jewish, the Sumerian story, and when I say Jewish, I mean the Kabbalic story. When you look at the Hermetics, when you look at the Thoth the Atlantean on the Emerald Tablets, no matter what story you look at, most of the older stories talk about how the gods descended from heaven. And when you read the Bible, if you read the original book of Chariots of the Gods, there's so much that we would today synchronize with spaceships. So that seems to be the oldest story currently, simply because when you look at geologists and archaeologists, we continue to find that there were civilizations prior to that, even prior to the Sumerians. Right now, Göbekli Tepe seems like it is older than the Sumerians, and they have their own story that we're still unearthing right now. You also have things like the Sphinx has been around much longer than the Kush people, or what became the Egyptians, the Kemetic people. That these stories have been around. The stories of Atlantis and how it was submerged and they flew in their ships over and started colonies all over the world. All these stories are very similar, but older stories seem to keep coming up. Older civilizations prior to those civilizations seems to keep coming up. And the thing about it is, geologists are showing that there have been multiple cataclysmic events that have happened on the Earth, and events that are ELE events, extinction level events, things that destroy all civilization. And if we look at a lot of these movies that come out that talk about how something cataclysmic happens, the knowledge is always lost, and man begins to just look at what's around them and base things on nature. And because of that, an older story is probably out there, and that older story probably does have man looking for gods in nature, and then even beyond that with aliens and all that kind of stuff. But I think the oldest thing that we can probably look to is how the laws of the universe function, the Hermetic laws, and understanding those, and that those laws have been universal, and more than likely we will find that in every other culture as well. Those Hermetic laws, that you can find them in the Kabbalion. It's the easiest source. So that would be the oldest story for me. But what do you think?